Well, hello there. Very good evening. Many thanks for joining us on Issues at Hand. My name is Romeo Busiku, sitting in for Peter Kibaze. Well, on this show, we discuss trending issues, and a case in point is the Uganda Manufacturers Association that is making rounds everywhere, social media, name it. And right here in the studio, I have the Executive Director, Uganda Manufacturers Association, Haj Sebagala. Many thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
So the 23rd International Trade Fair,
It's on.
you must be proud.
Sure.
Tell me about it.
Well, I have to be proud, like you exactly said. Starting something and you really sustain it up to this level is not a small thing. And we as manufacturers and indeed organizers of the same are very proud that we've consistently sustained the same. It's of course getting bigger and bigger, but we are proud of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the benefit of this annual trade fair? Because it's been running now 23 times.
Sure.
But some people do not know. I see people just showing up for the alcohol, just look around at the stalls. What should they expect?
Well, there are quite a number of benefits from the same, one of which is, of course, members of the manufacturing fraternity showing case. Basically, that is the idea. Exposing what we produce to the general public. What exactly we're doing in different sectors, different factories, different companies, both in the real issue of manufacturing as well as service providers on our side. So we can't be producing for our own selves. We really produce for others, and indeed it's that reason that we have to tell them, show them, enlighten them, expose to them what we do. And that is the reason we are having these expos.
Well, speaking of manufacturing, you talked about manufacturing, but there's this intriguing part. Most members in the Uganda Manufacturers Association are traders, just mere traders. But why do you call yourselves manufacturers?
No, when we're talking about manufacturers, we're really talking about real manufacturers.
Well, clear the air.
Yeah, people go there and manufacture, not trading. Trading is different from manufacturing. Though there are those who double as manufacturers as well as traders. Yeah, but in this case, we are talking about real manufacturers, people who go down on the ground, get raw materials from the beginning point of the manufacturing process, the production chain, from zero to the end. And those who start it from the middle to the end and come up with the finished manufactured products. Not going to a certain shop X, buy what is already manufactured by a certain person Y, and you bring it to your shelf and sell. No, we're talking about real manufacturing, from zero to the end.
Yes, the Prime Minister did mention that and called upon all Ugandans to actually produce their own products. Now, speaking of products, there's an exportation of products from China. Big exportation of products from China. What is your position on that?
Well, I have to inform the general public that we are tired of importing. We should be concentrating on not only producing, but producing what satisfies the demand in as far as this market of Uganda and indeed the region is concerned. You know, when we do the importation, we don't only go into China, UAE, UK, name it. But we're spending money, the little money we have in terms of forex, to those other people who are already developed. So it is actually everybody's concern that we should do what we call import substitution by reducing on the number of imports to concentrating on expanding here and satisfy our market, our people, by producing what we need. Of course, we can't produce 100%. Or there are those other areas where we might not necessarily venture, but where we have an advantage. We must concentrate, we must be aggressive in expanding and make sure we satisfy this market.
Well, as the Executive Director of UMA and UMA as a whole, what avenues are you putting in place or have already put in place to ensure that we can realize this goal, where Uganda can actually produce her own products?
Well, what Secretariat is doing, of course, in conjunction with members, is to not only encourage them to expand, but to sweet talk government, to call on government to put enabling environments in as far as production is concerned, and as far as manufacturing is concerned. You know, you might have the will to produce more, but the environment might not necessarily be there for you. Take,
the
for
environment,
example, yes,
the political environment?
No. There are different environments. Let's take this. In this case, we're talking about the financing part of it.
Okay.
We don't necessarily have enough money in all sectors or at all times to do what we want. We go into borrow monies from banks, get loans from banks, or even other funders from without. But you cannot get all what you want from a commercial bank with those exorbitant and high interest rates and do the expansion you need. So when you're talking of an enabling environment, it should not only be political, it should be in terms of capital, it should be in terms of market, it should be in terms of incentives, it should be in terms of, you know, skilled manpower, name it. This is the general environment. Infrastructures must be in place to make us, or to make our work easy in order for us to expand and produce more.
The 23rd International Trade Fair, fascinating. Whenever I just look at the figure 23rd, it just shows the journey has been, I imagine, hasn't been smooth for you.
It hasn't been, actually, as a matter of fact, though I wasn't there at the beginning. But what I know very well is that the fairs actually did not start as they are now.
True. Because there are more crowds now.
What used to happen then, before the real fairs on the ground started, are what we call floats. Okay. That is 89, 90, 91. Whenever there was an independence function like that is happening on Friday this week.
On Friday, yes.
Manufacturers who were there then used to decorate lorries or pickups with what they do, banners around the lorries, put on those products on the sides, and move along to Kololo airstrip where these functions take place. Mm-hmm. After marching, the police and the army and other people marching, even these lorries will do the equivalent of marching and move out in front of everybody to see there is so and so, there is so and so, there is so and so. So those floats were getting the showcasing on that day, and that was it. But members said, no, how are we going to do this and sustain these floats? We need to do more. People need to really come. Not only see lorries we decorated with what we do, but come on the ground, touch, see, comment, give advice, make all necessary comments objectively or otherwise.
Because not so many people are open to criticism.
And give them time to really examine what we do, appreciate it, or appreciate whatever we do, and then continue with it. So that's when the late Professor Murwana and his colleagues, Mr. Kaduchiberu, Mr. Gordon Wavamono, Mr. Sekalala Senior, Madivani, Abidala, and others sat down and said, I think we need a permanent ground. That's when they came up with the issue of having a permanent ground. They tried a number of them, by the way, in town, in and around town, but eventually zeroed on that ground, which was, of course, Bushe. It was a no-go zone by then, but with the help of Honorable Bidandi Sali, we acquired that land then and started developing it to what you see now. It's now a CBD. Yeah.
Well, speaking of land, there are reports that you're looking for a sizable piece of land that could accommodate the big numbers of exhibitors that would be flocking the exhibition at the trade fair.
Sure.
Are there big numbers? Are people really coming in, or we should wait a little bit?
No, we are actually late.
Okay.
And actually we are aggressively looking for bigger land. For instance, in 1992, when these permanent ground shows started, the number of exhibitors then, the record shows 120 exhibitors in 1992. Midway, 95, 98, numbers shot to 500, 600. And as I talk now, while we are on this show now, we are having over 1,300 exhibitors. So the number is growing bigger and bigger, but the space is not growing bigger, matching the numbers. So it is really very absurd to somebody comes to say, I want space, and you tell him, I'm sorry, space is over. Maybe try us next time, but next time come earlier than others and make sure you get space.
And those others that come late would end up in the same scenario.
You know, it's a kind of first come, first serve. But we feel bad and sad when we send away people who would love to showcase. So that is the reason we are trying to look for bigger space. We want to accommodate everybody, big or small, when these shows are on.
Okay, let's now talk about jobs and the role of the UMA, Uganda Manufacturers Association, in enforcing this realization. How many jobs does UMA create in a year, say month?
I have a feeling that I wouldn't say in a month or so, but what I want to inform you is that we are claiming the position number 2 in as far as employment of people or citizens of this country is concerned. We are next to government. There are you cannot find a single company, for instance, a shop or any farm that can employ over 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people. This is only found with manufacturers, and we are proud of that. So I can't tell you exactly how many we employ every month over and above what we already have, but the fact is that because the fraternity is expanding, because the manufacturing sector is expanding, every time we expand, we bring more on board, and that's where we are proud.
Well, as Uganda Manufacturers Association, what have you done to promote the Ugandan brand?
Oh, this goes way back to those other times when we were still limping in as far as branding and packaging and making our products look real is concerned. As I talk now, I think Ugandans are there. We have done the necessary advocacy in terms of branding with our members. They are really branding their products good to appeal to not only Ugandans but even the diaspora. And this gives us a mileage. We've really achieved so much in as far as this is concerned. Branding is one way of marketing your product. You can't brand badly and you get the market or the appeal of the people outside there. So we emphasize it, and members really there in as far as it's concerned. I'm happy.
Well, Haji Sebagala Chigozi over here reiterating on the achievements of the Uganda Manufacturers Association. This is the 23rd International Trade Fair, and it is still ongoing until the 11th?
Sure, 11th. This Sunday.
This Sunday, coming
yes.
Sunday.
Yes, please.
What is the main event on Sunday? What should people expect?
Well, there isn't that main event on Sunday as such, but I would like to inform members out there that we have got 27 countries participating, first of all, from all over the world.
True.
And if we get these exhibitors from those other countries other than our own, or even those ones in the region, there are chances of no chance. I mean, all these countries are coming in with what we call exhibits. And I have not seen a country going, or an exhibitor going back to his original country with the same exhibits. So people should take advantage of that. Somebody has carried exhibits all the way from Japan, Malaysia, Indonesia, name it, up to here. Why would Ugandans allow the same exhibitor to take back those exhibits to Indonesia? So when the time runs out, the experience is that people tend to sell off all the exhibits, and not only selling them off, but at giveaway prices. And people should take advantage of that. And that is on Sunday.
Well, what I did find fascinating was the involvement of the small-scale agricultural exhibitions. I have to tell you, that was really great. Where I'm speaking with the Executive Director, Uganda Manufacturers Association. We are taking a short break. We'll be right back as he tells us more on this trade fair. We'll be right back.